Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today has got to be one of the most patriotic days that I can remember in a long time. Watching the previous administration, who worked to undermine our constitutional rights nearly every single day, get whisked away by a helicopter in a car, and then watching the new administration move in gave me a lot of hope for the future, that we might actually see some of the things that we have been asking for decades now actually come to fruition. But there is still one big thorn in my side, one thing that I think could absolutely derail all of our hopes moving forward, and that is Pam Bondi, who once again turned on gun owners, and we need to talk about it today, so let's get to it. Now, real quick, if you're somebody who's watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free, it only takes a second, but it really helps us out here quite a bit, and it helps us spread our message to more and more people, ensuring that channels like ours can stay here for as long as possible. So again, I really appreciate the support, and if you want to support the channel even further, make sure you check out the main sponsor of this channel, which is Attorneys on Retainer. If you're somebody who carries to defend yourself or your loved ones, don't go it alone. Have an attorney in your back pocket by having a membership with Attorneys on Retainer. Check out the link down below for more information. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So I have been happy with a vast majority of Trump's cabinet picks right up until Pam Bondi. As I'm sure you all know, Pam Bondi was nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States, which is an extremely important position. She would essentially be the chief law enforcement officer of this country, and I have made videos in the past talking about Pam Bondi's previous record on the Second Amendment as she was Attorney General of the state of Florida. It was not good. She supported age-based restrictions. She supported red flag laws, enhanced background checks. I mean, she did not have a good record on the Second Amendment. Again, everything moving forward to her was good, but she seems to be the exact opposite of what this administration has promised us, which is that they are going to relieve some of the Second Amendment burdens that we faced under the previous administration. So this administration under Trump says that they're going to roll back some of the executive orders. They say that they're ready to sign new legislation that would overturn decades-old gun control, which would be great. But then you have Pam Bondi, who is directly contrary to that. Now, as I'm sure you know as well, she recently had her confirmation hearing. And one of the things I was hoping was to hear some pushback from some of the Republican senators that were on that committee so that we could hear her maybe try and correct the record. But we didn't get any of that. The only time it was really brought up was by Democrats, who were hopeful that she was on their side. And sure enough, she did not disappoint. I want to share this little kind of back and forth question with Senator from the state of California, Alex Padilla, and Pam Bondi on the Second Amendment, on her previous views, and it is really shocking and eye-opening.
You express support for certain gun control measures in Florida, including raising the minimum age for firearm purchases and implementing red flag laws, which I agree with, I support. They're proven to make a difference and to save lives. How would you use the position of Attorney General to advance these common sense gun safety policies on a national level?
First, Senator, let me say I am pro-Second Amendment. I have always been pro-Second Amendment. I will follow the laws of my state of Florida and our country, of course, regarding any gun laws. I worked that shooting, meaning I was there when 17 family members were notified. I was there, that their children were also Pulse nightclub. I also went to Nevada to help with the MGM shooting. The Attorney General at the time asked me to come out there. I believe over 60 people were there. I am an advocate for the Second Amendment, but I will enforce the laws of the land.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I would certainly hope so. But any specific ideas that you have on advancing the common sense gun safety proposals that you support as you were Attorney General? I gave you two examples: raising the minimum age for firearm purchases or implementing red flag laws. There's, I think, a growing national consensus on universal background checks.
I would be glad to meet with you and review any legislation that you have, Senator.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you, but for me, after watching that, I came away with the feeling that she still 100% supports her positions on the gun control that she was then supporting in the state of Florida. She doesn't believe that 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, or 20-year-olds have a Second Amendment right. She believes in red flag laws, taking people's constitutional rights away from them without due process. I mean, these are very big issues and very big topics, and she seemed to still support them. And one of the biggest things that bothered me is she said, I support the Second Amendment, but. When you say but, you basically eliminate everything that came before that. So she's eliminating the fact that she supports the Second Amendment. She's saying she supports it, but she still believes in, everything that she had done previously as Attorney General of Florida. Now, the other thing that really bothered me is that it seemed like she had capitulated to the left's insistence on even more federal gun control when Alex Padilla asked her if she would support legislation on a federal level, like the legislation that she supported in Florida with the age restrictions and red flag laws. And instead of parroting anything from the Trump administration or any pro-Second Amendment talking points, instead she said, oh, I have no problem meeting you in your office to discuss any legislation that you might have in the future. And so instead of saying, no, I don't support any further regulation on a federal level or anything pro-Second Amendment whatsoever, she basically said, sure, let's go ahead and go into your office and we'll talk about what ideas you might have. To me, that is a very scary thought from somebody who's going to be the Attorney General of this country in an administration that has promised to work positively for the Second Amendment. And so, just like in Florida, she has once again turned on gun owners in this country, taking her stance that she had in Florida and now applying it on a federal level. Now, I know this isn't new news. By today's standards, what happened yesterday is old news. But this is something that people need to be reminded about because, again, we were promised a lot of things on the campaign trail, and a lot of those things sounded really good, and I would like to see those things be implemented. And I want to make sure that our Attorney General is going to be just simply law enforcement and not act like somebody who creates law, which is what a lot of these agencies and a lot of other people who get power do. They tend to feel like they can create law, and that's absolutely not the case. That's just the job of Congress. It is simply their job to enforce it. But a lot of times they feel like they have a little bit too much power and they go a little bit too far with their authority. And so, again, with an administration moving in that's supposed to be more pro-Second Amendment, more pro-freedom, more pro-Constitution, I want to make sure that everybody who's put in a position of power feels the same way. And again, I want to remind you that she does not. So anyway, again, I just want to make sure that this remains fresh in people's minds and people understand who is going into what position. So I want to let you know about that, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and you guys have a great day.